Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Junio from Chuo University, Tokyo, Japan. So today I'd like to talk about the typoglycemia. Um, do you know typoglycemia? Please raise your hand if you know the typoglycemia. Only one? Only one? Okay. So I have to explain the concept of hypoglycemia, but before to do so, I'd like to introduce the why do I provide my talk about hypoglycemia at cost curve. Hypoglycemia is a phenomenon, but no open source software. So the one of the reasons why I like to talk about hypoglycemia is that we used an open source based application as the experiment platform, and the second one, we offered some script to make typoglycemia text as an open source software at our GitHub repository with the MIT license. So you can use these tools freely if you have an interest in studying hypoglycemia. So let me explain the concept of hypoglycemia. As you can see, can you read this? According to our researchers at Cambridge University, it doesn't matter in what order the letters in the word are. The only important thing is that the first and last letter be at the right place. The rest can be a total mess, and you can still read it without problem. This is because the human mind doesn't read every letter by itself, but the words as a whole. Are you okay? This is the very weird phenomenon. Its name is typoglycemia. This is another example written in Japanese. Japanese hiragana and katakana. We can write down typoglycemia in Japanese. 皆様に大事なお知らせ、この度中尾清月堂が絶対にバレないようにドラ焼きのリニューアルを行いました。You can read, if you read Japanese, you can also read typoglycemified Japanese sentences. So, why it is that typoglycemified sentences allow us to understand them even when the order of letters is modified? Several important factors related to human cognitive functions are thought behind this. Three factors. We have three factors. The first factor is recognition is the shape of entire word. We know that we don't read each letter in order, but rather recognize entire word as a single pattern. For example, please consider that we are reading apple. So when reading the word apple, you can recognize the whole word of the shape of apple. Instead, not only the not by A, P, P, L. You cannot read the characters one by one. You can read apple in a whole word in the shape of the word. So the second factor is context dependency. The meaning of words or sentence doesn't exist isolated, but is gradually influenced by the context in which it's placed. The meaning can be determined from the context. Even in the case of typoglycemified sentences, as long as sufficient content is provided, we can correctly recognize the meaning even from insufficient information. The third factor is schema derived from our experiences. Our brain forms schema for word recognition and sentence structure through past experiences. In other words, they accumulate patterns for recognizing the word and the ability to predict the meaning of the sentences. Typoglycemia is thought to occur when these schemas are put to effective use in my mind. The more linguistic experience to you, the easier it will be to utilize these schemas to understand typoglycemified sentences. Three factors suggest that typoglycemia is not simply an exceptional phenomenon, but one that deeply rooted in human recognition abilities. Further investing in typoglycemia may not only shed light to the phenomena, but may also very useful, and it can be contributed to efficiency of visual text processing, application, education, or information transmission in digital environments. So the aim of our experiment is to disclose the effect of typoglycemia level on Japanese reading ability comprehension, and to analyze the relationship between cognitive load, reading speed, and typoglycemia levels, the degree of typoglycemia. The first significant point is that the study examined the impact of character transposition in Japanese hiragana sentences on reading comprehension, while many previous studies have focused only on English typoglycemia, but we are Japanese, so we have to investigate how about the Japanese sentences. So this study examined the impact of reading comprehension using hiragana sentences with different degree of typoglycemia, with the aim of clarifying the characteristic of hiragana's cognitive process mechanism. The second significant point is that this study conducted a detailed analysis of the impact of difference in the degree of typoglycemia and reading speed. Previous research has suggested that hypoglycemia affected reading comprehension, but few studies have quantitatively evaluated this impact. In this study, we quantified hypoglycemia levels and performed a detailed analysis of how it works. Though this research effort, we can apply the knowledge to reading support tools and information presentation design. The finding revealed that not merely basic research, but the results have the potential to be useful, for example, in developing tools to support people who have difficulty in reading, and in designing more effective method of communicating information. So we put a hypothesis as the hypoglycemia level increase, the time required for reading comprehension also increasing, and individual differences become more pronounced. Our experiment was conducted in December last year, 2024, and participants, our university students, the number of participants was 22. So we choose the participants to join in our experiment by adopting this criteria. Criteria is the participants must be native Japanese speakers. And then 5 hiragana sentences with varying typoglycemia level. I believe you are wondering what is the typoglycemia level, but I would like to explain later. And the 5 hiragana sentences with varying typoglycemia level from 0.2 to 1.0. are presented to the participant. These sentences were designed to be uniform in structure without proper nouns to minimize the impact of context on reading comprehension. The experiment was conducted using the readability test platform. The readability test platform was developed for this purpose. This platform is based on Twine. Twine is the novel game creation tool provided by provided as open source software, and the subject read aloud to the presented sentences on their computer. Upon finishing sentences, button to advance to the next sentence appears, and the reading time up to that point is automatically recorded. This is the formula of defining typoglycemia level. TL is the TL for TI is if you provide if the sentence TI provided, typoglycemia level TL is defined as this formula, ND divided by NC. ND is the number of candidates where we can replace the characters. So in these cases, we can count the NC as 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And ND is the number of the characters that change, their places were changed in practice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So in this case, we can calculate the typoglycemia level divided 9 divided by 13. So the next slide illustrates how to make typoglycemified text. Firstly, we have to calculate the number of characters and C that can be replaced in the original text TI, and then we also calculate ND with the specified typoglycemia level TL. Within the word consists of TI, we have to count up candidates who have more than or equal to 4 characters and define the region of characters that can be replaced. And then we picking up a word from candidates randomly and replace 2 or 3 characters with the word. The 5th step, eliminating the region where the characters were replaced from candidates until the number of characters exceeds ND. We have to repeat the procedure from 4 to 5. This is an example of the typoglycemified text. These numbers is illustrating the place where the character can be replaced. 5, 6, 7, 4. This one 11, 12, 13, or brown, blah blah blah. So as I mentioned, you can access the modified script from the GitHub repository. Next, I'd like to explain the readability test platform. Readability test platform is implemented using Twine, the game platform. Starting here, and the consent form provided in this passage, and then 5 questions are provided in this passage, and last the passage will be shown this is the procedure of the experiment, our experiment. Firstly, we have to explain the purpose of the experiment to subject, and we must obtain the constant information, and then the platform presents five types of text with different severity of hypoglycemia, and then the platform lets subject read the text aloud and measure reading time, and finally the platform shows the data, and we analyze the reading time data. This slide is showing the information informed consent like this. I'm sorry, this is written in Japanese. And the next one is the example of the typoglycemified text with the typoglycemia level is 0.6. Can you read this? 雪が積もった冬の公園を歩くと白い世界が広がり、blah blah blah. So the final page, I'd like to show the example. This final page contains of ID, unique ID, and log data with the timestamp like this. Timestamp is represented in a Unix epoch. Then these sequences illustrate the hypoglycemia levels. For example, this platform can represent the hypoglycemified text randomly. So in this case, the first one is 1.0, and the second one is 0.4, 0.2, 0.8, and last one is 0.6. Okay. This figure shows the experimental result presented as a box plot. It's clear from this graph that as hypoglycemia level increases, its reading time tends to increase, and varying the varieties between subjects increase like this. So the hypoglycemia is increasing, and the reading time is also increasing like this. And the interesting thing is, in general, the distribution is exponential or logarithmic in nature. As different difficulty increases, the elapsed time increasing exponentially like this. This is along with exponential curve. Human cognition often follows an exponential or logarithmic functions. Despite this, the other impressive thing is that the minimum value remains relatively constant like this. Minimum time is constant. This means that people who can read the hypoglycemic level can also read, even if the sentence is very messy, they can read the hypoglycemic text as the normal text. It's very impressive and important result. Analysis of the experiment result revealed that the hypoglycemia was low, specifically between 0.2 and 0.4. Reading time was relatively short, and individual variety was very small. This is thought to be because there were few characters substitutions and the meaning of the sentence was not compromised, allowing for smooth reading. However, when typoglycemia level exceeded 0.6, reading time gradually increased. When the typoglycemia level exceeded 0.8 or 0.8, the increase in reading time became significant high, and the individual variety became large. In particular, when typoglycemia was 1.0, reading time increasing significantly, and some subjects took an extremely long time to read. This is thought to be because character substitution made reading comprehension more difficult and increased cognitive load. Furthermore, changes were observed not only in cognitive processing time but also in the reading process. While text with low typoglycemia could be read intuitively, text with high typoglycemia likely required subject to generate multiple hypotheses and undergo repeated trial and error in order to reconstruct the meaning of the text. In other words, as reading comprehension becomes more difficult, it requires more advanced cognitive processing. Okay, let me conclude my talk. We focus the degree of typoglycemia from light one to severe one. Light one means almost as normal text, but some characters are modified. And the severe one is very messy text. So as shown in previously, I show you the example of like this. This is very messy text, according to the researcher. But you can read it. But reading time is slightly longer than the reading normal text. Okay, so in order to disclose the relationship between the degree of typoglycemia and cognitive load, we define the typoglycemia level to measure the degree of typoglycemia, and we conducted an experiment to disclose the relationship between the typoglycemia level and cognitive load reading time. And the results show the log-like distribution and the several interesting findings. Okay, that's all. Thank you for listening.
Any question, comment, something else?
Hi. His question is it difficult to figure out if the sentence contains the kanji characters? But in my opinion, it's a little bit difficult to figure out the phenomenon in reading in kanji character. The sentence contains kanji character because kanji is not a character which represent only sound. Kanji has some meanings. The character contains some meanings. So it's a little bit difficult to change the place of the characters, kanji characters. I don't believe the phenomenon like typoglycemia occurs. This is my answer. はい。